Good Erev Shabbos. Today is not Friday, it is Erev Shabbos. We are here to turn Friday into Erev Shabbos, to count up to the holiest day of the week, and to immerse ourselves in the special sanctuary, the refuge called Shabbos. Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos is generally sponsored by Mendy and Tzipora Fishman. It's chutz for Chaya Rivka about Tzipora Friedel, in memory of our brother Jonathan Sachs, Rav Yaakov Tzib and David Aryeh. Thank you so much for your generosity, my dear friends at Mendy and Tzipora. The siren is sounded and Shabbos is rapidly coming upon us. We are running out of time to get ready, but that is exactly our mission and our purpose of what we're meant to do. And in this month of Elul, in this time of personal transformation, personal evaluation, personal reflection, Shabbos is that time. Shabbos is more important, more significant than ever, because Shabbos enables and empowers us to disconnect from the to-do and the tasks, from the technology, from the world, and to be able to immerse ourselves and evaluate who are we and who do we want to be and where do we want to go. But Shabbos doesn't have that impact on its own. Shabbos itself requires mindfulness. It requires presence. It requires preparedness. Shabbos itself demands and requires that we be fully present. The Sefer Or L'Shamayim says that Erev Shabbos hu bechinas Yom HaKippurim, and therefore yesh lashiv bo b'tshuva, that every Erev Shabbos, not only in the month of Elul, and not only while building up to Rosh Hashanah, every Erev Shabbos is a time of tshuva. Erev Shabbos is the Bechina. It is like it parallels Yom Kippur. That's why many of them minhag to go to the mikvah on Erev Shabbos, just like going to the mikvah on Erev Yom Kippur, because one is purifying themselves. The whole episode that happened with the Chida, Rav Wolfson quotes in his Likutei, in his Emunas Yitecha, rather, on Shabbos. But Shabbos is the same letters as Boshes. Boshes is shame. And we have shame in the mistakes that we made the previous week, but the shame, Shabbos transforms the Boshes into Shabbos. Shabbos allows us to take the shame that we felt, the guilt, the healthy, not the debilitating sense of shame, and to be able to use it to motivate and to inspire and to transform and to inform the week that will be. Shabbos is a day of dreaming. Shabbos is a day of visualizing. Shabbos is a day of reaching. We're in a period of Eis Ratzon. We make the mistake of thinking that this time of the year, Elul, is only time of Yemei Din, of justice, of judgment. We sit there, we're afraid, we're anxious, we're worried, we're going to have to pay the piper. And there's an element of truth to that. It is a time of judgment, and we come before the judge, and we are held accountable. But it's not defined only as Yemei Din. These are Yemei Ratzon. These are Yemei Ratzon. Kadosh Baruch Hu loves us, and He needs us, and He wants us, and He believes in us, and He's available and accessible to us, and we can feel His presence. And Shabbos is that day. Shabbos is that day that our neshama is yisera. Our neshama is expanded. It's on fire. It is not distracted. It's not pulled in a million directions. Shabbos is the day that we're most authentic and we're most true. It's me'ein olam haba. It is a best version of ourselves. And that's why Shabbos culminates in the Raiva Deraivan, the time of Mincha, the Rachamim within the normally a time of Din, Zman Mincha, but the Raiva Deraivan Shalosh Shiras, that time when Shabbos is slipping away, is known as the time of Raiva Deraivan, which means Ratzon Sheberitzonos. Yemei Ratzon, Ratzon Sheberitzonos. The whole goal, the whole aspiration of Shabbos is Ratzon Sheberitzonos. What does that mean? What does that mean? So the Tzaddikim explain what we're trying to accomplish on Shabbos and what we're trying to build up towards, so that at Shalosh Shiras, as we're losing ourselves in song, Hashem roi lo echsar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you are my shepherd, you are my friend, and as long as I see that, know that, feel that, lo echsar, I'm missing nothing in my life. As long as I lean in, I have a relationship with you. Achashalti beis Hashem, shivti beis Hashem. As long as I can sit in your house, as long as I can feel your guiding hand, as long as I have your embrace and support, then Hashem Roi, you are my shepherd, you are my friend, lo echsar, I'm not missing, I'm lacking nothing. As we're singing that song, and as we're experiencing that time of Shabbos as it's slipping away, it's Raiva Deraivan, it's Ratzon Sheberitzonos. What does that mean, Ratzon? So it's an Eis Ratzon, and Shabbos Shalosh Shiras is Ratzon Sheberitzonos. And Ratzon means our desire, our drive, our aspiration, our ambition. And the question of Ratzon Sheberitzonos of Raiva Deraivan is, what will, on Shabbos, do we have the drive and do we have the will that all of our will throughout the week will conform to what Hashem wants for us? Put differently, Elo we know is an acronym for Ani L'Dodi, V'Dodi Li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is for me. And the mission, our goal, is Ani, any sense of I, any sense of existence, any sense of mission or purpose. My Ani, my whole identity, my whole sense of self, my Ani is lidodi. I surrender, I submit, I mevatel my ani into lidodi. Who I am, Hashem, is to serve you. My identity is being in love with you and being loved by you. My identity is needing you and being needed by you. My identity is the relationship, the mission, the purpose, a life of service, which is a life of happiness and a life of pleasure, but a life of purpose. My ani, who I am, is lidodi. How can I fulfill, how can I achieve my ani being lidodi? Ratzon sheberitzonos. That my ratzon is that my ratzon be your ratzon. My overarching, overriding umbrella ratzon, my overriding drive, ambition, is that my ambitions match and meet yours. That I want what you want from me. That I'm striving for holiness, not for happiness. That I am making my drive, my wants, conform to your wants. They're not in conflict. There's no tension between the two. There's no daylight between them. But my ratzon is ratzon sheberitzonos. My ratzon is that my ritzonos be aligned with what you want for me. That's my ani, is lidodi. I don't want daylight. I don't want conflict. I don't want tension. I want to live a life in which my ani is lidodi. I'm avata myself to you, in which our lives are inextricably linked and intertwined, in which my ratzon, my drive, my ambition, my picture, my image of the life I can live, of who I am. And that's what Shabbos gives us, the space. Shabbos gives us the capacity to contemplate and to be present and to be thoughtful. The Boshes, the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment, the mistakes of the previous week, we're able to rearrange those letters to take that Boshes and to transform it, to turn it into Shabbos. That Shabbos is also synonymous with Teshuva. Shabbos and Teshuva. Shabbos is a time of return, of repair, of restoring, of renewal. Shabbos is that time of dreaming for the week that will be, and those dreams culminate, those dreams come into the clearest picture at the mincha of Shabbos afternoon, at the time of Shalashudas, at the time of Ratzon Sheberitzonos. So our mission, our goal today is to turn our Friday into Erev Shabbos. Today is not simply Pashut, a Friday. Today is Erev Shabbos. We're getting ready. We're counting down. The end of our Parsha, Kisavo says, Leman Taskilu. The purpose of all of Torah and mitzvahs is Leman Taskilu, which Mefarshim say Leman Tatzlichu, so that we are successful. What does it mean? So the Targum says, Dizbonen. Person should be a mizbonein, contemplative. How can you live a successful life? A successful life is a contemplative life. Is to be fully present, is to fully experience everything that you do, to not be conflicted and fragmented and distracted as we are all week. Shabbos, Leman Taskilu. Shabbos is Leman Tatzlichu. We experience a success. Shabbos is Leman Tizbonen. We're able to have a misbonein, to be contemplative, to be present. We should be zocha, to be present in all that we do and all the time that we spend with our loved ones, with Hashem, and with ourselves, that we disconnect from the to-dos and the technology and the tasks, and we reconnect to ourselves in a way of teshuva, to transform the boshes, the shame, the guilt, the mistakes of the previous week with some reflection and some thoughtfulness and presence, and to turn them into a time of teshuva, that Shabbos propels us. Our neshama should be yisera, not only on Shabbos of the nefesh, we shouldn't say goodbye to it, but that expanded on fire neshama should be something that lasts the entire week. And so, Chevra, recovered Shabbos Kodesh. And what's left of today, disconnect, begin to transition, begin to sing, stay happy, stay healthy.